Now there's a steal by Bird. Underneath the DJ, lays it in. Right out, 1 second left. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Oh, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan. Oh, wow.
In your life have you seen anything like that? No good. Wide right.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go in the end zone. He's going to go in the end zone. The Bears have won. The Bears have won. Oh, my God. You believe in miracles? Yes.
It's the Davey Mac Sports Program, where we talk the sports and other stuff like hemorrhoids. Speaking of hemorrhoids, I just flew in from Las Vegas, and boy, is my asshole bloody. Anyway, I'm Bobby Tamburro, and here's the host of our show, the star, Eastside Dave McDonald.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you. That introduction really wasn't even a joke this time. It was more of just a weird confession that your ass is bleeding.
Yeah, much like Roy, I got to start reading these ahead of the time.
Yeah, I mean, you got to start reading them. You got to start writing them. You got to start doing things. You take over the introduction if you want. Sometimes the Dave man is running late on time, and you get things like, I just flew in from Las Vegas, and boy, is that my ass bloody. Folks, since Roy Harter is still recovering from the neck surgery, and we wish him all the best. Texted Roy again just to say hello. He said everything's going well. He just said it's taking a long time. It's going to be a long process for Roy's recovery, but he will return. Just like General MacArthur, I shall return. And Roy Harter is a military man, of course, as we all know, so he will be back. But until Roy gets back, we're having just a parade of spectacular special guests. And I don't know what took us so long to get this fine young gentleman on the board. Ladies and gentlemen, put them together for Bronx Johnny.
Gentlemen, what's up, guys?
Johnny, how
loving
you
that
doing,
beard,
Daddy?
Davey Mac. I'm loving that beard, baby.
You love my beard, Johnny. Talk to me,
Shit,
baby.
who's the lucky lady getting a pussy with that thing?
Who's the lucky lady?
Getting that pussy ate with that.
Man.
You going down there, sucking on a clit, your beard's tickling that asshole. Nice.
Are you saying that this beard is good for the cunnilingus?
Hell yeah, dog. You like scrubbing the asshole clean with that thing.
Johnny, this is what I look like.
Shit, don't get me hard. God, you look like a character out of Oz.
I look like a donkey, just like drinking water out of a trough. I'm like,
nah, it looks like. Do you make eye contact
what
when
I
you
do.
Do you do eye contact with the lady when you're going down on her or no?
Johnny, I've decided to remove myself from society. The only thing I do is go to Acme or Walgreens and then do shows. That's all I do. And that's all I need to do. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you can drive, you got to drive to these places. So you have a car. You could do like a Ted Bundy, like, hey, you mind helping me put something in my car? And then,
You just made me 2 minutes ago. I was a bearded, suave, redheaded Casanova. Now I'm a fucking Ted Bundy. I'm a serial killer. I have to kidnap
hold on a
him?
second. Let's be honest here. Ted Bundy wasn't suave. That was a suave dude. He did what he did out of a power because he didn't have to do that. He could get anybody he wanted, including us in this room, if he felt like it.
You did a 180 though. You made me feel good about myself into I have to be a fucking serial killer kidnapper in order to get female company.
I don't think you'd be kidnapping them. You'd just be giving them a ride to somewhere they didn't want to go or they didn't know they wanted to go. There you go.
Now listen, let's discuss why you're here and who the hell you are to the brand new audience. Always expanding the Davey Mac Sports Program. Johnny, you still doing High Society Radio? Of course, you're a legend from Sirius XM. And then, of course, you've been doing for years and years and years the High Society Radio podcast with Chris Pepper Stanley and Chris from Brooklyn. Are you still doing that?
Yeah, I go on every once in a while when they call me up. Weird now. You know how it is.
When they call you up, they're not calling you up every week.
Well, no, I'm working on Thursdays now, man. So you know how
You work
that
on
goes.
Thursdays in Boston?
Yeah.
And so the Bronx Johnny name is sticking, even though we're in Beantown, huh?
Yeah, I get a lot of shit for that, but I don't mind. Like, I don't give a fuck, man. Like,
but I mean, you're never going to go to Boston Johnny and have like a new phase, like the way they're making Iron Man into Dr. Doom.
There's already a Boston Johnny out here. It's a meth head that hangs around in front of the fucking store. He's a nice guy, though. He's like, you Bronx Johnny, I'm Boston Johnny. Like, please don't piss on yourself again. Like, the customers are complaining. I'm just trying to pick up carts and shit. And you messing yourself. Go behind the TGIF. They got burger wraps and shit. You can munch on a wrap. It's like eating food for you, right? The flavors.
Johnny, I did have another incident at Acme, and I'm ready to go postal on these fucking people.
Wait a minute. So Acme is a real place, like the shit Wile E. Coyote? You buying dynamite and ambles and shit? What are you doing?
It's a food supermarket right by my house.
Acme sells food.
Yeah. I mean, they sell food, and then they sell like dynamite that won't explode.
That's what I'm saying. That's some weird shit right there. Yeah. I wouldn't imagine their lobster rolls are any good.
Well, Acme is a place I go to, I don't know, 3 or 4 times a week.
Damn,
I got 2 locations, and they're literally across the street from each other. The Acme and the Walgreens. I'm there all the time. Okay. Yeah. These people should not question me anymore. Okay. And
are you a regular in there? Are you regular in there?
I'm a regular in there, and they always see me, and they're always like, hey, there he is. There's the guy who causes problems and talks to himself on aisle number 14.
The word regular implies they're happy to see him, John.
Yeah, well, not all the time. I don't think everybody was happy to see Norm on Cheers. He was an angry drunk. They just didn't show those parts.
No, you're 100% right. They are not happy to see me because they always fuck me over, or they have some sort of incident and they get upset, and somehow they get upset when I explode with anger.
Wait a minute. So the employees that are supposed to be there, that are paid to be there, have incidents while you're there.
Johnny,
that's crazy.
Johnny, there's always a fucking problem at this Acme.
Are you a Karen in the Acme, bro? What are you doing?
Yesterday, I fucking will go to check out I do the self-service checkout because I don't trust any of the cashiers anymore. So they fucked me too many times. They doubled up. I caught them a couple times. I'm buying fucking Snickers, and all of a sudden I see like 2 charges for 99 cents. They doubled up on the Snickers fucking checkout. I saw what they did. I like
that you enunciate the word Snickers really well, because that could go left.
Snickers, really, John. We're not going in a racial direction.
No, I didn't say that.
So I go to these fucking people. I do the self-checkout myself. I put down the bread. I check the bread out. $12 yesterday.
God,
I go, okay.
Damn.
I know. I go, okay. Gotta get the manager. So the lady, then she takes my bread. She checks it out all for herself, and it also registers $12. You know what she says? I guess that's how much the bread costs.
You should try eating cake.
I'm like, the bread does not cost $12. You fucking old bitch. And this is the woman, Johnny, who she tried to double up a few months ago on chicken.
She's a manager now? That's crazy.
I get this chicken called sweet and spicy chicken for $7.50. And all of a sudden it showed up as $15. And when I told this woman that, I go, yo, this chicken doesn't cost us much. She goes, well, I've only been here 37 years. What do I know? Now, here's the thing, John.
Yeah.
I asked my mom, I go, hey, Mom, now that I think about it, when did that Acme get built? Because I remember like the Acme getting built in like the late 80s. She says it was built around 1988. Well, guess what?
Huh.
That would make it 37 years. This fucking old bitch, I realize, opened up that Acme. And has been there ever since. She probably was like a fucking teenager doing the cashier line. And now she's there 37 years later. She looks like Freddy Krueger wearing a blonde wig. She's a very thin but very wrinkled old lady. And she goes, well, that's how much the bread costs. You ever hear of inflation is what she says. You ever hear of inflation? At this point, I'm seeing red. I'm like, yes, I've heard of inflation. No fucking bread costs $12. If that's the case, I'm going to Washington, D.C. tomorrow and I'm blowing up shit. I don't want that.
I wasn't there for that.
When I mean that like in a fun, like we're going to have a party.
Like a zany
no violence. Yeah, blowing up shit just means I'm going to have a fun party. That's what people use it. But anyway, the point is this. So she has to call her manager. This is the boss in the store. You know what the boss says? He goes, how much did you get rung up for? $12. Got to be inflation, right? He goes, no, that was a misprint. He says, the bread's supposed to be $3.99. Someone must have labeled it with the fucking thing. The exact same thing happened with the chicken. And now they're doing this with the bread. And I'm the bad guy. Me and this woman are mortal fucking enemies. I am telling you.
The landlord from Kingpin.
I just want to buy my food in peace. You're telling all of us to self-checkout. But every time we do, you guys fuck up the food.
To be fair with you, though, what you should do just to verify this shit, right? You go to your local library and see the date that they opened up that Acme to see that old bitch is in the photo. At this point,
she's the one who's like, I'm there 37 years. And then my mom's like, it was built in 88. I'm like, this makes sense. She literally broke in with the fucking Acme. That's why she thinks of herself as the fucking goddess of supermarkets.
She probably fucking looks like that Kittner boy's mom from Jaws and shit, all beat and fucking.
There's a similarity.
Yeah, I can see it.
Actually, picture even older and with white hair, not black. God, by the way, did that strike you as well? Like, how old is this woman with this like a 10-year-old son? I always thought that was the grandmother.
Yeah, that would have made more sense. I felt like the kid had some kind of DS they want to address in the movie, and he just drowned. The shark didn't even really eat the boy; he just drowned. And so like, the older lady
had a son who
at that age, your baby's health doesn't come off great when you're giving birth and shit. And like, who's inserting us? That means if she was 47, she got digged down at 37, and she wasn't looking any better at 37.
No, I mean, look, for a comparison, look at Chief Brody's wife. Like, you could understand, like, okay, she's a mom of like a 10-year-old and
that bitch was a MILF before that word existed, son.
100%.
Fucking Richard Dreyfuss is in that ass in the book. I don't know if you read the book. She was getting digged down by the town, son.
Wait,
she was cheating. Yeah, she was cheating, man. She got fucked up all over town. They used to call her that's Brody's old gal. Not even his wife. That's his old guy. That means she was getting ridden like a motorcycle, son.
Is this true? Is this from the Peter Benchley novel? You're actually being serious?
Yeah, dude. Look, Google that shit.
They had Hooper. They had Hooper and Mrs. Brody have an affair in the book.
That old Jewish boy was eating out on Saturdays, my man. Play ball.
All right, how about this? Since Richard Dreyfuss is involved, who is a better 70s woman? Mrs. Brody from Jaws or his wife, Terry Garr, from Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
Shit.
And not Terry Garr from the Richard Dreyfuss movie Let It Ride 10 years later. Yeah. That's when her health was failing.
I'd say Mrs. Brody anyway. Cause I know how she gets down, so the possibility of getting my dick sucked is pretty good. You give her some peach schnapps in that little town, she's ready to fucking go off of a shot of schnapps. Just wild on that shit.
So you're going with Mrs. Brody over Terry?
Yeah, because you know when you fucking, she's just yelling out racial slurs. It was the era, you know. They didn't give a fuck back then.
Johnny.
It's like, whoa, watch that mouth.
Johnny. We're going to do interrogation later. That's where I expect some fucking weirdness. We're trying to have a nice talk.
Again, yo, that's racial profiling at this fucking point. It's every episode. You like...
Yes. Did you? I told you. You're the only... I did inform you. You're the only guest for obvious reasons we have to do interrogation with every single episode.
You never explained to me what the... Is it? I came in with this hat, by the way. I didn't take it out of your closet. Some magic shit.
What does the hat say?
It's a Drop Zone Brewery. It's a local brewery around there. I go in there, get some wings. I lied and said I was in the first Gulf War. They don't give a fuck. I'm the only person of color in there, so it's all right.
Well, let's do some college basketball since there was a big weekend for the college basketball. Not going to spend a lot of time on the women's final, but UConn beat South Carolina to win it all. Gino Auriemma, the head coach, of course.
Quick question: He has the most wins, right, in college women's sports?
12th championship for Gino Auriemma. That most, right? Makes him gives him obviously the most champion. The lady from Tennessee had 8. But
a man runs that, right? A man has the most titles in that sport. That's just what I wanted to clarify that.
That is the truth. A man is the king of college women's basketball.
And the lady that retired, let's be honest, because I know you're being a general about it, she retired because of her menstrual cycle. She could have gotten 10 if she just stuck around, but man, that bitch.
What was her last name?
Pat Summitt.
Pat Summitt.
With her bear trap pussy and shit, man.
All right, hold on. Calm your jets for a second. Let me get through some of this shit. I'll fucking go to you every once in a while. Jesus fucking Christ, Johnny shot out of a cannon. Hold on, Johnny. I'm watching right before we do the show today, and I'm watching. Just as I'm doing show prep, I have ESPN on the background. And these some of these numbskulls on First Take are trying to tell me that Gino Auriemma is the greatest coach in the history of American sport.
Women's sport.
Yeah, no. In all of American sports, Gino Auriemma is the greatest coach of all time. This was Molly Karam and the other woman, Shanae. Shanae. This was the females had this point of view.
I'm glad the women are respected.
Here's what I'm going to say, ladies. Okay? Here's the problem with this hypothesis. You're talking about women's basketball. I'm sorry, but women's college basketball wouldn't even rank in probably the top 10 of sports. Before professional football, before college football, before basketball, before college basketball, before baseball, before NASCAR, before tennis and golf. Okay. How many is that?
That's 9. I counted 9.
UFC, boxing. Are we seriously going to say Gino Auriemma, like he's the greatest coach of all time? Is that what we're, come on, people, a little bit of perspective.
To be fair, if you're Gino, right, with all those titles, wouldn't you just start dressing like a pimp on the sidelines at this point? Because you run those bitches.
You think it's appropriate? You think Gino Auriemma should be dressing like a pimp,
like a Sicilian pimp, because he's Italian, so I'll show him his respect. You think he doesn't call them putanas and shit when they're not running drills? Like, he looks like an old school, like he'll grab him by the pussy type shit. He's like, you're not gonna do crunches? That's how he looks like he does. You ever seen?
Well, listen, this is why you're on the show. You're gonna bring a unique perspective that the rest of us are not.
Us Bruins fans bring the heat, baby boy.
You got a Bruins shirt now?
I got a Bruins jacket. Yeah, they were giving them out at the casino. I was like, fuck it, I'll take one.
If you turn on the Yankees, you motherfucker,
I'm never
talking to you again.
That I'd never do. I've had arguments. They were like, oh, you're a Yankee fan? Like, oh, it's in the name, yeah. I'm a Bronx guy, so I love the Yankees.
What's going on in the background of that apartment of yours? I hear some shit.
Well, my kids, I'm watching them for the day.
All right.
I got custody today and shit, so I'm watching.
You always have custody. You're still married.
Who told you that?
I don't know. You know what? I'm not going to pry into your private.
I'm still married. I'm fucking with you. I'm still married.
Yeah.
We got domestic. We live domestically. We got domestic violence. It's all in house.
All right. I'm not even talking about that. On the men's side, Florida beat Auburn in the first game of the Final Four. Meanwhile, Houston beat Duke. Duke had a great chance with Cooper Flagg. He had a shot to win the game. He came up short, had a great look at the basket, fell short. And so it's going to be Florida and Houston for the national championship tonight in college basketball. Who do you like? Are you even excited?
I think Houston blew their load all over Cooper Flagg that last game. So Florida's got it.
I was really looking forward to an Auburn-Duke finals. I wanted, because Charles Barkley works March Madness these days, has for the last decade, and he's going to be there. I was pulling for Auburn, and then I was pulling for Duke because I kind of like the story of the young coach, John Shire, who has to replace the legend and Coach K and wanted to see him go all the way. And the two teams that I was rooting for, 0-2, it fucking sucks. I'm not actually excited.
You jinxed them, technically.
I'm going to watch the game. It's my job. It's what I do, but
I'm going to be honest with you, Dave, because you like Coach K. Do you think, because we're all men in the room, do you think Coach K is better than Gino Auriemma? Because I heard somebody say earlier today that Gino Auriemma, greatest manager, not even coach, manager of all time. That's a slap in the face to fucking Bobby Heenan. Fucking a lot of those guys. Song guy Dudley.
Coach K is better. Yeah. 5 men's championships. I hate to say this is way harder to do than 12 women's championships.
1 men's title is better than 10 fucking women's. I don't know what kind of math they're doing over there in fucking
Division 1 there's 360 Division 1 college basketball teams, and the top 64 teams after the play-in games. You have the best representation, the best 64 teams in all of college basketball, including the smaller teams who get the 16 seeds. This is the absolute best of the best in men's college basketball. So it's just way harder to win the NCAA men's tournament than it is the women's because of the depth. That's all the depth.
Take it a step further. He won Olympic gold medals as a coach of all the best players in the entire world. Not even,
And the 2008 team for Coach K was extremely important. That was the Redeem team, if you remember, because they fucked up in 2004 where the pros got beat. It was an absolute disgrace. Everyone was like, what the fuck? So Coach K gets Olympic gold medals in 8, 12, 16, and 20. 4 gold medals.
Yeah, and this may be a controversial statement, but if Coach K is coaching Duke, they don't lose to Houston. He doesn't allow that collapse to happen. He has enough experience and enough ways to get through it that the fall apart does not happen.
I mean, they went cold. At the end of the day, no matter who's cold, you guys are going to go cold like that. I didn't like some of the calls on offense. I'll say that. But then again, Flag came up short, which was kind of – I thought he was going to hit that shot.
He came up short. That's a great look. I mean, that's like a 12-footer. Where he jumped over the guy. He's got incredible hops, so he had a clean look. You can't come up that short. I mean, he literally and physically came up short, and it's incredible. What is going on in the back? There are people in your house.
He's just coming to Johnny's apartment after this.
My point is, Robert, he goes, I'm watching the kids. Now, have your kids rapidly aged? Is it the reverse Benjamin Button disease where your kids are now 40-year-olds?
They're just running around. They're good. They're good kids. That's not
are those movers?
No, that's my uncle and the house guy. They were moving my grandfather up here for physical therapy because he got dementia shit. He can't come up the stairs by himself.
I'm not making fun. It's just I want to make sure that you can have this podcast a lot.
The easiest person to make fun of is people with dementia, Dave. Even I know that. It's all right.
Yet, when you had the chance to make fun of Pat Summitt for it, you chose to say it was because of a mental cycle.
It's a full circle at this point.
I will say, Dave, I learned something from the Houston Duke game. I owe Karl Anthony Towns an apology because we all know it was a very controversial over the back call that really won the game for Houston. And since Karl Anthony Towns is such a pussy, we never have to worry about him doing anything that physical.
He likes over the back, by the way.
He takes a shot at Karl Anthony Towns every week, and this one had nothing to do with Duke and Houston. That didn't make sense. He crowbarred that one in there.
If it was Dookie, it would have made more sense.
You ever heard Karl Anthony Towns talk, Dave? Have you ever heard him?
Yeah, I've heard of Karl Anthony Towns. I was literally going to go into a story if you two fucking bozos would let me talk for a second.
Wait. Have you ever heard him talk, though?
Yes.
He's sassy as fuck, son. There's a word we could use, but I'm not going to use it. Sassy as fuck.
Karl Anthony Towns is what? Do an impression, John.
He's a sassy motherfucker.
I don't want to hear I want you, Johnny, to do a Karl Anthony Towns impression. You have a character on the show now. Now I want to hear your fucking impression of what this Karl Anthony Towns sounds like.
Sure, let me see if I can do a good one. Do I have we got glizzies back there? I'd put a glizzy in my mouth and try to talk with it in my mouth if I could.
Come on.
But that boy, what's a sassy one? Oh, Dave, you're such a silly pants, Dave. Dave, stop playing with me, Dave. You're so silly. You're sassy boy, Davey. Davey Mac Sports Show, sassy boy. That's how he fucking talks. Off the court, on the court. Like, I don't even want to know what kind of like if he's shit talking you with that voice, how do you not laugh at him? Like, what?
That was the first time I've ever heard Johnny do a voice like that. That was very enjoyable. Dave, you're a sassy boy. I'm Carl Anthony Towns. Hey, y'all. I'm Carl Anthony Towns, and I just love basketball. I love dribbling the ball. I love touching the ball. I just love everything about basketball. I love to dunk. And sometimes what I like to do is take an offensive charge. And I get in the way. I'm Carl Anthony Towns, and I put my body in the way, and we go dick to dick. And we fall down in a heap of love. And I go, did I get the charge, ref? That's what you do when you're Carl Anthony Towns, Daddy. You go out there and you fuck everybody, every basketball player. Johnny, the other day, on the court, I fucked Joel Embiid, and off the court, I fucked Joel Embiid. That's what I like to do, and I dribbled his balls up and down the court, Daddy.
That's like
guess who returned last night? Jalen Brunson, my man, Knicks captain, the captain. Limited time, limited action, 15.6 assists. Folks, I gotta tell you, with Mitchell Robinson, there's an element of fool's gold to this. But if Mitchell Robinson is healthy, he's a 7-2 defensive machine who also gets rebounds. He allows Carl Anthony to play the 4. And Carl Anthony Towns is a power. He's a power forward at heart. He's not a center. He's
power bottom. That's crazy.
And then you got Mikal Bridges and OG and fucking Jalen Brunson with Hart coming off the bench as sixth man. I'm telling you what, this Knicks team is a hell of a lot better than people realize if they're all going to be healthy for the playoffs.
Yeah. You like Hart off the bench, guy? I feel like he's better than OG on starting because OG defensively is a better. You need him. You need his energy off the bench. He's not.
OG Anunoby is the best defensive player in the league. Well, are you kidding me? Yeah, he's been averaging like 26 a game for the last 10 games. He's got to be the starter.
No, but this is why. Because when he's off the court, they give up a hell of a lot more points. They'll give up like 15 in 5 minutes if he's not on the court.
Like, that's why OG Anunoby is going to start.
I'd rather that off the bench though, because then you keep your points on and then you lock down while you guys are resting.
You're insane. You're insane. So OG Anunoby has started since he's a Knick, and he's been fucking killing it. And in fact, this year, I mean, the guy's been absolutely insanely great offensively and defensively. I think he's the defensive player of the year.
Do you think he's better than Jason Tatum and those young Bucks of the Boston Celtics?
Defensively?
No, all around. You think he's better than Jason Tatum?
No.
You think
he's not better than OG is not better than Tatum offensively. Defensively, yes, he is. But offensively, Tatum's incredible.
I'm gonna tell you right now, they called Tatum White Jordan out here. That boy's nice.
He's a black man. Why would they call him?
He's very alabaster. I'm not gonna lie to you, man.
It's Boston. They try to take credit where they can, Dave.
Yeah, it's like, somebody legit, we were talking about it in the back on the loading dock. There's like, I think he might be some sort of Puerto Rican. Like, what are you talking about? he's black. He's real light to be black, though. How light you got to be to do that? It's like, all right.
He's a man. He's an African-American man and proud of it. Please. Next. Now, Johnny, I don't know if you've watched because you're up there in Boston. So you've betrayed us, but the Yankees have a closer they gave millions and millions of dollars to change their facial hair policy because this guy's had a beard. And Devin Williams last night blew another game. I know it was extra innings and he has to inherit the guy on second base. I understand, but if you're an elite closer, you get out of that. I don't give a fuck. This Devin Williams sucks, and here's my point. Before you get into your point, let me get into mine. We already went through this last year with Clay Holmes, Yankees. Yeah. It was evident to every Yankee fan that the guy didn't have it in terms of closing games. He's a great eighth inning guy, but not as a closer. We put Luke Weaver out there as the closer, and the guy turns into Mariano Rivera in the regular season and the postseason. He was brilliant in October. So now you have a guy in Luke Weaver who was great in postseason compared to Devin Williams last year, who in the postseason gave up a game-ending home run when he was on the Brewers to the Mets. Now he comes to the Yankees, this Devin Williams, and he fucking sucks early on. And Luke Weaver, every time he's appeared for the Yankees, has dominated and shut everyone down. Why is Luke Weaver not the closer? Why can't we fucking get this right?
Yeah, I think Boone's overthinking himself again. Like, I get why the front office. Devin Williams isn't bad. I think he's got to shake off that playoff loss first. Once he gets that demon out, he's not bad. But
he looks
Luke
like
Weaver
shit right now. And by the way, this is a Boone thing, but it's also a Brian Cashman thing. This is a Cashman paying this money to Devin Williams saying, you're the closer. Why did you do that? You have a fucking closer in Luke Weaver. He's great. He is getting the job done.
There was one guy in free agency I thought we should have gunned after was Tanner Scott. That dude's a fucking killer. He went to the Dodgers. Look at the Dodgers all of a sudden spending money, right? On a non-Japanese player. Like, geez,
I hate the Dodgers so much.
I mean, I do too, but we're Yankee fans. Like, they're us in the 70s, 80s, and 90s. But just, a little bit more. And they're a little bit smarter with the checkbook. I
don't like? Kike Hernandez. Because I feel like his first name, if you say it in an English pronunciation, is just designed to get you kicked off YouTube. I feel like it's a trap.
He tried to say that in the chat and wouldn't let him.
No.
YouTube flags it.
It's pronounced Kike.
Yeah. No offense to my Jewish friends.
Kike. All right, hold on. Here's the other thing. And sticking with baseball, last baseball story. Rob Manfred appeared on Chris Mad Dog Russo's Sirius XM show. And Mad Dog said, hey, what's the deal with ESPN and baseball? You guys, ESPN says they're not going to be doing baseball after 2025. Rob Manfred says, yeah, I mean, we thought we were giving them a great deal. It was like $500-600 million for baseball rights. Right now, ESPN is paying in the billions for NBA. Now, the NBA ratings are in the toilet, and baseball's had a ratings resurgence in the last 4 or 5 years. So no one knows why ESPN overpaid for the NBA like that. Manfred says, we thought we were, going back to ESPN. We appreciate them. They're the worldwide leader of sports, so on and so forth. And he goes, guess what happened? They kind of stopped returning our calls. They just kind of ghosted us. We were reaching out to ESPN trying to get a deal done, and they just fucking ignored us. What the fuck is with ESPN and their hatred of baseball, Johnny?
Dude, I remember being a kid loving baseball tonight. Summertime and shit. You catch all the highlights. They don't even have it. I think it's in podcast form now on ESPN. They do 7 or some shit.
They still do the regular, but they also do an audio version. But yes, baseball tonight, fantastic show.
And I remember, what was it, 4 years ago? Remember, baseball was in trouble at ESPN when they tried to kill Peter Gammons. I don't know if you remember. Chris Berman tried to sit on his face. Peter Gammons like, hey, you want to see a bunt? He was like, what do you mean? It just sat on his face. Oh, that's crazy. Peter Gammons is an old man. You can't do that. Just squatted right on his fucking nose.
It's crazy talk. It's crazy talk, what you're saying right now.
I mean, but once Peter Gammons left, I like Tim Kirchin. He's kind of nerdy, cool and shit. He's better than that dweeb they got on Fox with the fucking bow tie. Fuck that guy. He hates the Yankees. Ken Rosenthal. Fucking hates.
I'm not a big fan of him. I don't really like the Jim Gray. No, I always like the ESPN guys. You're right. Yeah. Tim Kirchin is good. I like Carl Ravitch. I think he does a nice job too.
Carl Ravitch looks like he'll hit on somebody's wife at the bar. He's got that scummy hair and shit, but I like him. I used to love the little promos.
Let's get focused. Why does ESPN hate Major League Baseball? Why do they seem to love the NBA? How do you give the NBA 4 times the amount of money that you were giving baseball when Major League Baseball has better ratings these days than the NBA? Yeah. So the Yankees-Dodgers World Series ratings were off the charts.
Sure. Yeah. But I think it's more, especially the way ESPN's going now, it's not talking head friendly. Baseball's not, you can't really, I mean, you could if you love the sport, but they're not into it, so you're not going to have Stephen A. go. He went off on Shohei Ohtani being the face of the league and shit. because he's Japanese. But that's about it. That's the only coverage they got. Like the World Series, I forgot it was on if you watch ESPN and shit. What's Kirk fucking Perkins gonna say about that shit with his goofy ass face?
Take it a step further. Baseball has 162 games, whereas even basketball has only 82. So literally they get more time to analyze everything, hear themselves talk about everything, whereas baseball, you get whatever you just said analyzed that evening. And I think
they hated baseball for a long, long time. I was noticing that when you would go to ESPN.com, out of baseball season, so, after October, before April, MLB wouldn't be one of the main tabs. They would be NBA, NFL, college basketball, women's college basketball, WNBA, and then more. You would have to click on more, and it would be tennis, golf, NASCAR, and baseball. And I'm like, what the fuck, more?
Yeah, it's fucking bugged
The
out.
first popular team sport in America. Baseball. You can't take that away.
And they're in season, mind you, and they're at the last piece before you go to and more. They're behind fucking soccer, for Christ's sake.
It's
they're behind soccer.
Yeah.
All right, Johnny. It's time we interrogate you.
Let's do it.
What kind of camera are you using today?
A MacBook Pro camera. It's a little shady. It's very Taliban-ish, but I mean, it does the job.
I was gonna say. It's like we're doing some sort of terrorist video here.
Yeah, I feel like the fucking terrorists have better technology than me at this point.
You have a phone.
I can't. No, I don't like to record off of a phone. That shit. I feel weird doing it. I feel like I'm jerking off. You know what I mean?
All right.
You make different faces when you record on your phone.
Name. This is Interrogation, where we get to know our guests.
Well.
As mentioned before, the record breaker for being under interrogation the most times is our most popular person of color, Bronx Johnny.
That makes a lot
He's
of
had
sense.
to be under interrogation quite a bit because he's the most suspicious.
I feel like that.
Name and location, please.
Bronx Johnny, Massachusetts.
When's the last time you lied to a friend, and what was it?
This morning, actually, I was talking to my buddy Gino from Connecticut, and I was like, yo, you know what? You're probably the greatest coach in any sport ever. And he believed me. That's what's up.
You do a show with Chris Pepper Stanley. Has he ever farted in front of you? Second part, who is the most smelly person on that show?
Stanley if Stanley doesn't fart in front of me, I tell him he has to go to the doctor.
Does not or does? I didn't hear.
No, he does always fart in front of me, but if he doesn't fart, I tell him to go to the doctor. That's not normal. He's a big fart. You got to pass gas. It's fine. We eat those.
Disgusting. It's so disgusting. Who's the smelliest person? Someone who really does need to take a shower. Otherwise,
I would probably say me, because usually once we would do the shows, I was coming off of work and shit. They would come in, they had time to shine and shit. I'm on the train all musty and shit. Johnny, like when your fucking balls chafe, man. You know what I'm saying? You're a man, we got those.
Johnny, in order to save the earth from an alien takeover,
would you
rather stick a large flashlight in your ass or a needle in your dick hole?
Needle in my dick hole. I want nothing in my ass. A flashlight's pretty thick too, man. Like at that point, might as well just be a man back there. And what are you gonna do with a flashlight in your ass?
Needle in your dick hole? That's the option though?
How big is the needle then? Like your dick hole's not that tiny. Like you have a tiny dick hole? Is it like normal?
No, I mean it's a regular needle. It's going to be long, it's going to be just a regular sized, like a safety pin.
Could you fit your pink in your dick hole?
Could I fit my pinky in my dick hole?
Yeah, could you put your whole pink in your dick hole?
I mean, I've never tried.
You think it'll fit? If it does, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Give me a second.
Big.
Oh, this hurts, John.
It doesn't hurt? Nah, it shouldn't hurt. If you go past your knuckle, it's gonna hurt. But
all right, I got it out of there. Yeah, disgusting. Johnny.
Yes, sir.
Would you rather live with 10,000 frogs for 1 year or a lion, and why?
Shit, probably the frogs. You can eat their legs and shit, so you got sustenance. And they're not gonna eat me the way a fucking lion would.
I agree with you. I think that was the first smart thing you've said all day.
There was a movie, right, where people were living with lions and shit, right? Didn't what you call it get hurt?
Jungle Book.
Not Jungle Book. It was a movie with Melanie Griffin was in it, I think. It was her first movies. And like
Gorillas
a real
in the
lion.
Mist.
No, it wasn't that. That was the Jeff Goldblum. He was
I don't know. I don't fucking know what movie you're talking about, okay?
No, yeah,
This
Google
is
that
Interrogation.
shit.
You don't ask the questions, tough guy. I do. You just sit there. Johnny,
Right.
if we could chop your head off and put it on a robot, would you want to be put on a C-3PO type robot or R2-D2 type robot?
R2-D2. C-3PO was the Carl Anthony Towns of droids. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not doing that.
You're saying C-3PO a little effeminate, maybe a little gay?
Offensive rebound is all I'm going to say. That's how we going to keep it.
You'd look great as an R2-D2. If instead of the blue fucking helmet, it was just Bronx Johnny's head. I would do anything for that. I would do anything for that in my house. If you were
I don't know if my kids would appreciate that because
I know, but it would be so great looking. And I totally agree. With all due respect, John, for your body type, R2 was the right choice.
Hell yeah, I know that. I'm not a skinny age droid and shit. I'd have a big body if I was a droid.
I like
there was
R2.
always something a little bit about 3PO. You're like, can you fucking butch it up a little bit, dude?
Yeah, he was even like Chewie used to he used the F word. I know I don't speak that shit well, but in their language, he definitely used the F word.
You're saying when Chewbacca was roaring, he was calling a 3PO homophobic slurs, is what you're saying.
He was telling C3PO, you go like, oh, chill.
I get. I'd
love the R2 C-3PO fights with just Bronx Johnny actually yelling at C-3PO.
Would you rather go the rest of your life, Johnny, with no ketchup, or you have to eat ketchup with every single meal, and that includes breakfast cereals and whatnots?
I'd rather no ketchup.
No ketchup?
I'd rather no ketchup. I'm not even a big fan of ketchup anymore. Like on fries sometimes, but even then I'm mixing it with a little mayo and shit.
What do you put on hamburgers?
Just the mustard. That's about it. Put mustard and mayo on there.
On hamburgers, not fucking hot dog.
I'm going to tell you right now, when I was a kid, they interviewed Clint Eastwood, and he said the gayest thing you could ever put on anything is ketchup. Like, who puts ketchup on a hot dog? He said that shit for real. Like, you know what? Fucking Unforgiven is right, son. I'm not doing that shit.
What about French fries? What do you dip your French fries in?
Mustard sometimes or mayo.
Oh, you fucking.
Sometimes I just put salt and I eat it like that. You eat ketchup on most. You put it on your burger. You put it on your hot dogs too?
No. On listen. I'll put mustard on hot dogs. I'm actually an either or guy. Like if you have good mustard, I'll put it on a hot dog. I'm not going to complain about the ketchup. I prefer mustard on a hot dog. But ketchup with burgers and French fries and a whole bunch of shit.
Yeah, I mean, if it's on there, I'll fucking eat. But I wouldn't choose to put it. Like I'll put barbecue sauce on the burger before ketchup.
I got to stand up for ketchup here.
You like ketchup,
why don't you yell at a chair again that nobody's actually sitting in? You fucking dementia fuck. Ketchup's amazing. I put it on my hot dogs, my burgers.
Johnny, with all due respect, Robert and I are Americans, and your Cuban ancestors or Ecuadorian ancestors probably couldn't afford the good Heinz 57.
Shit.
You know. In good old USA, you put fucking ketchup on a burger, all right, bud?
We used to get the Del Hoya ketchup. Man, I don't even know if that shit exists anymore. I don't know if it's around.
That was like I would go to my friend's house, and he would have Hydrox instead of Oreos, and I'd be like, "Get me the fuck out of here."
Look at
I was like, I don't want to be a part of it. And then you go to play, and his toy box is the fucking GoBots rather than Transformers.
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
this is a Temu household before Temu ever existed.
When Bush ran against Kerry, my parents stopped buying Heinz because he was married to the Heinz heiress. So we only had Hunts for a while, and that was a dark period in the Tamburro household.
Oh, God.
Nasty.
All right, Johnny. When's the last time you cursed someone out, and what was it for?
This morning, my wife.
For what?
So we were watching highlights of the Yankee game, right? And she was like, "Oh, Aaron Boone messed it again." She was like, "Why can't he be more like Gino Ariema?" She said, "Oh, this is Spanish." Blew my fucking mind. I was like, "Are you fucking stupid? What are you fucking saying to me right now? Like, you think Gino Ariema can coach the Yankees? Like, he's got 12 championships in women's sports. There's no women in the fucking MLB. It's crazy."
Johnny,
He could coach the Knicks.
this is going to be a very tough one, Johnny. I'm just calling it right now. Would you rather be punched in the face or tickled by a neo-Nazi?
Like if they punch me in the face, I'm punching them back. I'm assuming I'm allowed to hit them back.
You're not allowed to do anything in return.
I'll fucking take a tickle then. I'll take a tickle. Whatever.
I need to see the visual of a neo-Nazi tickling Bronx Johnny and him just taking it. I need to see that. Yeah. Finally, Johnny, last question. What is the greatest sports show of all time?
Davey Mac Sports Show.
You passed the interrogation with that answer.
Appreciate that.
Johnny.
Appreciate
and that is
you,
Interrogation with Bronx Johnny. And he passed based on that final response. Anyone care about Alex Ovechkin breaking Wayne Gretzky's record for all-time goals? He got his 895th goal against the Islanders yesterday. That puts him number one over the great one, Wayne Gretzky. Do we care about this?
I enjoyed the fuck out of it, but I also hate the propaganda behind it because they're like, "Oh, you know, that's Putin's." But like, what the fuck does that have anything to do with him breaking that record?
Did you say I enjoy the puck out of it or the fuck?
The fuck out of it. I mean, you can take puck. That's pretty good, though.
I thought that's what you said, and I was giving you a laugh. And then I realized you didn't say it, and so I'm taking the credit for saying I enjoyed the puck out of it.
Make a shirt out of that.
Robert, you liked it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it thoroughly. We got to see a lot of Wayne Gretzky's wife, which is where I think he gets the nickname "the Great One" from.
Mm-hmm.
She's still got it. It's cool. Ovechkin did it.
Have you ever seen the daughter?
I have.
She's cute.
Oh my God.
Cute.
She's married to a golfer. She's actually insanely good looking. Gretzky and Janet. What was the wife's name? Janet. Janet. I forget. Who cares? Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I thought it was cool. I thought actually the night before I was watching the women's championship, and Tarasi and Steve Bird were talking, and they played overseas for his mom. And like growing up, they were like, "Oh, it's so cool. She's got this young Alex kid who has a chance to make it into the NHL." And then they got to see him become like the greatest of all time, which I thought was kind of cool. But what's even cooler is he needs 1,200 assists to get close to that record Gretzky set. So it's like it just shows how good Gretzky was.
Yeah.
I like how Johnny laughed when you said you were watching women's basketball. And Johnny thought that was actually a legitimate joke, Robert.
That's
and then he's like, he's telling the truth. That's what he did last night.
Johnny doesn't know Johnny doesn't know my love of Diana Taurasi. By the way, she is aging like fine wine. I don't know if you saw her, Dave.
Who?
Diana Taurasi.
Diana Taurasi, the Jimmy Durante of college basketball?
Hell yeah, that Pelican nose she's fucking got. You can't let her give you a rim job.
What a schnoz. All-time nose right there.
But let's say we combine her ball handling with my shooting abilities. There's America's future in sports.
2 football topics, and then we're done. Number 1, Lamar Jackson, after a few months ago suing Troy Aikman for using number 8 in Aikman's merch selling, is now suing Dale Earnhardt Jr. for Earnhardt using number 8 for his merch and T-shirts. And Earnhardt saying, "What the fuck? I was number 8 before you even joined the NFL."
That's crazy.
What thoughts and opinions of Lamar Jackson trying to own the number 8?
What the fuck? What has he got? CTE already and shit? I don't even see him get hit that hard. That's insane.
Also, we just talked about Alexander Ovechkin, the leading goal scorer of all time, who is number 8.
He's
like you barely, yeah. Like, come on, man, you don't have a claim to that.
He can't do that. You can't claim a number.
I patented the number 23, Dave. It's actually my number now.
Technically,
wasn't
Jack
one of Kobe's?
Robinson
Wasn't one of Kobe's numbers 8?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good luck going
And
after
Yogi
that
Berra, by the way, Yankee legend was number 8. You're gonna fucking retroactively start suing the Berra estate?
Hopefully he goes after all the neo-Nazis who use 88, and he's like, nope, that's mine. I own that title too.
And then finally, NFL draft is coming. It's right around the corner. The New York Football Giants have no plan. I've woken up to reality. They have acquired Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston as quarterbacks. We're being told they're still looking at Shedeur Sanders at number 3.
Oh.
They're looking at possibly Travis Hunter at number 3. It doesn't sound like the Giants have any plan. And the problem is this can't be a rebuilding year because that absolute fool, John Mara, brought these two nincompoops, Joe Shane and Brian Dable, back, but then stupidly told them it's a win now season when it's not a win now season, when they have to rebuild this year and they shouldn't be going for a win now season. So the Giants are all over the place. I've got zero confidence in this team. I think John Mara has put this team back by a decade by simply allowing Joe Shane to return this year. He's going to fuck up this organization because he's on the hot seat, and he should have been simply fired. This whole thing would have just, let's turn the page. This really was the time for a new regime. I'm frightened. The Giants have no plan. Johnny, thoughts?
So I saw a theory on Reddit where they said the Giants draft Sanders, right? They keep Dell knowing he's going to fuck this year up, and then they go after the dad next year. They go after Dion for head coach. You think that's a possibility?
I think it's look, I think it's a possibility, but then that's a John Mara plan, not a Joe Shane, Brian Dable plan. And I
think they'll both be out. They'll go out together.
As long as Shane is here this year, he can make a whole bunch of really terrible decisions that could screw up this team. Like, I don't know, letting Xavier McKinney walk, letting Saquon Barkley walk.
Yeah, that clip with him and his kids is gonna just damn.
Trading Leonard Williams. Yeah, being upstaged by his own 12-year-old son on HBO who said you should get Jaden Williams, and that kid turns out to be the rookie of the year and the best player in the fucking NFL.
Yep.
Shane's a disaster, folks. A lot of these hair gel type, 40-something general managers, they all want to be Brad Pitt in Moneyball. Regardless of the sport, they all want to be the super analytical fucking guy, go by the stats, I'm going to reinvent the game, and they all fucking suck. Because the thing that Moneyball fails to use is logic.
Yeah. And they never won a title either. I don't know if it's a fucking movie about a team that they didn't even win a title. That made no sense to me and shit.
I like the movie, but there was one thing they left out. They had fucking an insanely great starting rotation, Mulder and all those guys. Remember their starting rotation? Zito, Mulder, Hudson, Tim Hudson, remember?
Yeah.
They had like 3 or 4 fucking all-stars on their starting rotation. That helps. That helps a little bit. That was left out of the movie.
Yeah, but they never won.
I think it's crazy everybody
wants a title anyway and shit.
No, exactly. I think it's crazy everybody wants to be Brad Pitt from Moneyball. I try to be Brad Pitt from Fight Club. That's why I'm doing so many steroids. But I think this actually works out for your Giants, Dave. I think this works out for your team because they're going to do so bad this year. I think the plan is very simple. They're not going to draft a quarterback this year. They're going to draft a quarterback next year and hope the Book of Manning continues one more chapter.
I know. I mean, if you want to get the Giants fans back on the side of the organization rather than flying airplanes every other game saying fire everyone and sell the team, which was happening last year at the end of the season, if you want the fans to get off your back, you do whatever it takes to get Arch Manning. But my point is, then why did you bring back Shane and Dable?
Just to tank, I think. But as a Browns fan, I could tell you where you are. I could tell you where you are on the city churning on your team as a Browns fan. So right now you're in the early stages where people are like, we could turn this around. You haven't gotten to the everybody showing up with paper bags over their faces stage.
Oh, we were there last year, Robert. The Giants have sucked for 10 years.
The quarterback jerseys with everybody's name that's fucking a cape at this point because every season you have a new
naming
starter.
all things that happened last year with the Giants. The bags, the fucking...
You might be in more trouble than I thought then, Dave.
You're getting the planes, you're getting the brown bags, you're getting the jersey burnings, you're getting the John Mara's hung in effigy. No, you're getting it all from the Giants fan base right now, buddy.
Boy, New York acts fast.
They're probably gonna start getting dollar beer nights. That's how bad it's fucking looking, just to get bodies in the stadium and shit.
They're gonna stage an end of disco.
Johnny, we're nearly done.
Yeah.
Johnny, we're almost finished. Didn't we do a Tales from the Satellite recently that Johnny made a big appearance on, Robert?
We did do a couple where Johnny.
What was the last thing that we did? What was the last episode? Oh, it was me and Anthony.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it was.
I mean, no, that's on the YouTube. What was the last one we did? I don't remember.
The last one we did Kong Off, and then we did, what was the most recent one we just did?
Me on the Patreon, it was me, Fez, and Earl versus Mikey D. And again, this is why if you're not subscribed to patreon.com/EastsideDave, you're getting Tales from the Satellite a month in advance plus bonus shows. I did a Tales from the Q&A recently for the $5 Dogsies, and I also did Saturday mornings with David, so you get some bonus content. But the point being, with the Fez, Earl, and myself versus Mikey D episode, we were complimenting the phone screener who was Bronx Johnny.
Trained by the best.
The GOAT.
Yes, thank you.
You were putting some fantastic calls through, and the calls were really funny. The callers were destroying Mikey D. And we were like, this is the best bunch of callers. And then we realized, oh, yeah, it was Bronx Johnny manning the phones right there. Look at that. Look at you, buddy.
To be fair, too, we had some great callers back in the day, and Earl was no help. He was like, come on, kid, get something funny on there. Like, thank you, Earl. I didn't know I had to do that. Appreciate you.
Hold it. Earl. I like this. So this is a behind-the-scenes Tales from the Satellite. We get more dirt. So during that segment, where it's for the first time ever, me, Earl, and Fez were actually all on the same side. We were together like the Avengers fighting the evil Thanos, who is Mikey D. And you're saying that Earl was trying to, was he he was telling you don't take any anti-Earl calls, or was he messing around?
No. Earl was saying, just keep good calls coming in. Like, all right, I got you, Earl. That's all you want, just good calls. So no bad calls, Earl. It didn't make any fucking sense. Even Pitsy looked at him like, what the fuck was that? Like, I don't know. I don't fucking know.
No bad.
He would say random shit sometimes.
It makes no sense. You can't. The phone screener is just supposed to say, what do you want to talk about? Name and location. What do you want to talk about? And if the person has the topic that they want to say, you write the sentence down. And that's it. If it sounds like the person's a rambling fool, you go, we're busy now. Call back later. And then, blah, blah, blah. But there's no way to know if the call's going to be good or bad until it's on the air.
I was like, I was going to just start picking up. Be like, hey, is this a good call or a bad call? If it's bad, I got to hang up. Can't have you on. They're hot right now. The boys are hot. Just fucking man.
Yeah, there's no way to know if it's a good or bad call until it's on the air.
I was listening to one last night where Earl was saying he did more for the people to develop into radio stars than you, Dave. Bronx Johnny wasn't even studio, and he called in and was like, yo, I'm at my other job right now. I just got to say, that's full of shit, Earl.
Yeah, wait, when was this? And what did Earl Douglas on the Ron and Fez show, you're saying, said he means more?
He's created more. He's trying to say he's Bill Parcells with a coaching tree type shit.
Exactly, yeah. He was trying to call you the Gino of fucking radio producers.
That made no sense.
He didn't work with the interns at all. Johnny, who worked with the interns? Who was
that?
Mr.
Was old Dave. Dave would sit us down. Shit, Dave
Earl Douglas is under so much delusion sometimes. He literally would have nothing to do with the fucking interns. That was all me.
I heard Earl say the other day, the economy's looking great right now. I was like, God damn it, Earl. Fucking Earl's nuts.
People every once in a while will contact me and they'll go, Davey Mac, would you ever go on Bennington, or would you ever go on Sam Roberts' show, or this or that? I said, not only would I've reached out to the Chris Pepper Stanleys and the Sam Robertses of the world to let them know I would like to. But Bupkis, nothing. I guess I'm still banned for God knows what reason.
Are you banned from the building? That's what I thought you told me one time. You were banned from Sirius?
I wrote one email 15 years ago at this point about how Opie sucks, Tim Sabian sucks, and Don Wicklund sucks. And that's how I got banned. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you that thin-skinned?
And like
I think-
Meatloaf, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, Dave. You called 2 out of 3 of those.
3 out of 3. All 3 are gone. They've all been fired from
the
Sirius
other dude
XM.
I thought the dude was still there, Wiki.
Now, I like Tim Sabian, for the record.
Okay, yeah.
The guy who I like is Tim Sabian. I want to make that very clear. And it's got nothing to do with a possible future project. Tim Sabian is the man. I love Tim Sabian. He's a legend. Worked with Howard Stern, Sirius XM. He creates Westwood One, a podcasting network, and it's got nothing to do with a possibility that I may be in the future working with Tim Sabian. So I just want to say he is a wonderful, wonderful radio guy. As for Wickland and Opie, I stick by everything I said.
What a nice thing from the bottom of your heart, not prompted by me.
This shit. Yeah,
Johnny,
Dave's
what are we up to before we get out of here? Talk to me.
Dave, you got radio ops and shit, man. You got beef on radio. I've always found that, like, and Dave's a good dude. We know Dave personally off air shit is a good dude. But Dave gets into so many beefs with radio people, it's hysterical.
Well, I don't know why. All I try to do is help out and bring energy, and then people are just like, oh, he's crazy.
Well, no. So when you get pissed, because I've seen you get pissed, you'll send an email, strongly worded email, and like, this guy's tough to work with, and I'm pretty sure his mother's a whore. Like, I don't think you should send that email. It just gets fucking personal quick, big fella. It's like, Jesus. And then, like, the next day, he'll get in some shit. Like, I don't even know why he reacted to it. Like, you called his mother a whore. I don't know if that's a good starting point, but yeah, sure, right.
There's some mental illness in my head. Does anyone understand that? You got the ADD, you got the ADHD, and from what I've been told, there might be a psychological problem, which is why I talk to myself all the time.
Because the funny shit is, like, a lot of friends I have that you have beef with, I'm always sticking up for you. Like, no, Dave's a good dude. You just caught him on a bad day. And somebody, I'm not going to say who it was, but you had told him, I don't know if you were drunk. I was like, he might have had a bit too much. You're like, oh, you just a dick sucker anyway. Like, Dave called you a dick sucker. He's like, yeah, no, Dave called me a dick sucker. Then the next day
I didn't. Who was this?
I'm not saying it on there because I don't want no fucking heat. But it's a friend of mine.
Did they work for the Ron and Fez show, Opie and Anthony show?
O&A crew.
Producer?
Yeah. You got to remember who it was. I'm pretty sure you did call him
there's two options.
No, there's a lot more. I'm just trying to in my Rolodex of memories of feuds that I had with Ron and Fez and O&A staff members, there's quite a few. So
the funny
it's
shit
tough.
Was,
it's gonna be tough for me to narrow it down. I'll ask Johnny off the air.
We bumped into them at FezCon and shit, and I'm saying hi to them and everything. I'm like, oh, Dave's right there. It's like, yeah. I'm like, all right. I guess they're still pissed at you. I'm like, no, Dave's a good dude.
Does the first name begin with the letter E?
Yeah. That's quick.
I think you just narrowed it down pretty well.
It's funny you didn't call him a dick eater.
Jesus. Thank you, my love.
Stuff happens, Johnny. People don't like to be, people want to always call me crazy. It's the easiest thing of like, they fail at their jobs and I simply hold them accountable. And then it's Dave's crazy. I had given that dude a yes or no question that I waited 16 months for. It was business related. Yeah. And I said, this is a business question. Can I please get an answer for this? And then every 3 weeks, I was like, hey, dude, can I please get an answer to this question? And then 3 weeks after that, dude, what is going on? It's just a simple yes or no question. This went on for 16 months. I couldn't get an answer for a yes or no question. So I went on the air and buried the person, and they got mad at me.
Yeah, you don't bury people.
Yes, you do. If someone's asking you a question, that's a yes or no question. After 16 months, you fucking give them the answer.
I hear you on that. That's fine.
By the way, sorry, Johnny.
Made me feel like an intern again.
No. But Johnny, I really want to say that was completely directed at the person and not you.
I don't know. Yeah, but it gets weird because there's a lot of people I'm friendly with, and and they're like, oh yeah, Dave was a dick. They're like, Dave's not a dick. He's probably drunk. He sent me an email. Like, oh, all right, then once they say you sent an email, God knows what the fuck you wrote. Because you sent some nasty fucking emails. If you can log into, you should do that on the fucking show.
Oh, that would be good.
Read some of the
My emails are
sent to
just
people.
what I look. What I was just yelling. That's an email. That's a fucking email, basically. But I was not wrong. I was not wrong. No one in business should ever have to wait 16 months for an answer to a yes or no question that is impacting their life and their business and their professionalism. It was a yes. I didn't care. I was even saying I don't even care what the answer is. I just give me either a yes or no so I can move on and adjust my life.
Copy. Just, it's a lot of conversations like, hey, how you doing, John? Good. Like, I'm like, oh, so Dave did oh, yeah. And
I'll even tell you what the yes or no question was. It was, can I get my commute covered? No, this is it. Can I get my commute covered by the company? Yes or no? Because it's very expensive to drive into New York. So if the answer is no, I'll pick up extra side gigs on the weekend with my radio station. I'd prefer to be hanging out with my children, which is what I do every weekend. But I said, I will, on Saturday, I'll go away. I'll go out for a couple hours. Sunday, go out for a couple hours. Those two extra, appearances on the weekend will give me money for parking. I'd rather not do that because I'd spend time with my kids. So can I have a yes or no answer? I don't even care what it is. If it's yes, awesome. If it's no, fine. Now I understand, so I'll make the adjustment. I couldn't get a yes or no fucking answer to that for 16 months.
Yeah, but I don't know.
No, that's unacceptable. I'm the fucking guy who's in the wrong.
I mean, I don't know if the complaint was what you guys were arguing about, but it was more what you probably said to the person.
That was it.
That's like,
that's the whole issue.
You left out the part where you used the word dick sucker about it because I was like, damn.
Who can't get a response after 16 months to a yes or no question? If you literally, you're either doing two things to me. You don't have respect for me, and you're putting me on the pay no mind list, or you're fucking inept. That you are the coward who can't ask the bosses about this fucking question. So you are the one who's a fucking inept pussy. Don't blame me if I get mad. People should get mad after not getting after getting blown off for 16 months.
No, that's fair. Hey, so let's
I was getting blown off.
I hear you, but
I wish. I wish
Go ahead,
baseball had this energy with ESPN when they blew them off for 16 months.
Honestly.
But I feel like if you were in the room with that person, y'all sat down and talked, you'd be good. I always feel like that with people, especially y'all in the same industry.
I'm always good with people.
I'm good. I wouldn't say that.
No, I would.
Not every time.
No. If you cross me, then I'll fucking lose my shit. 100%. If you, what am I supposed to do? Just take it?
No, you shouldn't.
Guy's fucking me around for 16 months. He's putting me on the pay no mind list. And as a man, I'm supposed to accept that? Enough's enough. I went on the air and I said, this is completely unacceptable. And believe it or not, they were like, well, we got to fire Dave for doing that. How about the guy who dropped the ball straight for 16 months? Then there's no fucking...
Yeah, man.
Yeah. It's crazy how that individual would give advice for like 16 months and say things like, that's how the game's played. And then you play the game and you get fired, not the person who was causing the problems.
Whatever. Anyway, Johnny.
Love that beard, by the way. I don't know if I told you that right. Love that beard.
Bringing it full circle with the beard. I work on this beard, John. I trim it when necessary. I don't like stray hairs.
You eat ass?
Beard's looking good, right, Johnny?
Oh, it looks good. That's what I'm asking if you eat ass.
Do I eat ass?
That's an ass-eating beard, big boy. That's a good-looking beard right there.
I mean, I guess so. If you make
You'll partake a little bit. Yeah, that's right. Not mine,
if I have
I'm
to.
married.
If I have to, John, I'll do it.
Fucking
Johnny, anything you want to promote as we have come to the end of our spectacular episode, and we could not thank you enough.
Same, brother. Well, I got a job, so I don't need to be looking for another one. I want to promote racial unity in these tough times and shit. Good times. Seeing your kids when you can. Making sure you save all the money you get while the getting's good. Cause some tough shit out here.
Yeah, I know.
Come here.
I hear you.
Ugh.
What's happening?
Say hi.
Here? Oh,
Hi.
Yeah,
Hi.
there you go. That's your Uncle Dave. Don't ever let him send you an email. And if he does, I got to see it first. Fucking guy, man.
that was adorable. Oh, Johnny, baby.
What do you got
All
coming?
right.
Were you doing anything for WrestleMania?
No, I'm gonna just watching it with Stanley Mac.
Why don't you guys come down to Boston? This is John Cena's hometown. We'll go watch it in a square.
It would be coming up to Boston. We live in New Jersey. You know that.
Yeah. They like Bruce Springsteen out here too.
Do they? They like the boss?
Yeah. He's not
Drunk
better than
white
Neil
guys.
Diamond out here, but yeah, it's a good time.
I do want to say there's a programming note, which is very exciting. So we're be doing this either on Mondays or Sundays. The next episode will be on Sunday, April 13th, and it's going to star Coke Logic, the brilliant
Holy shit.
Coke Logic, yeah. And Robert's going to maybe play a few select Coke Logic videos, Robert.
Maybe Coke seemed more excited about just being a guest on the show. He's told me he didn't have anything to promote, so maybe we'll find some of our classics to play, like some of our favorite animations by him.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
I'm not saying anything new, just whatever you think is a classic Coke Logic thing.
Love it, Dave.
So that's very exciting. And that's Sunday, April
That's fucking
13th at noon. And that's when the
All
next,
right.
in case, I only tell people because if they want to watch live on YouTube at Eastside Dave TV, we don't even really promote it, but some people like to watch live. So there it is.
Absolutely.
Robert,
I got one thing to promote real quick before
go
I
ahead.
forget.
No, please.
Whenever you have to get a beverage like cheap alcohol, because times are tough, you can go to Total Wine and More in any of 50 states. Great prices. We beat the competition.
Ooh.
All right. Say it again.
Total Wine and More. I don't know if you ever heard of them, but they're really big. They're everywhere. They're fucking awesome.
All right.
If you hire me, I fucking love you.
All right. So go get your booze at Total Wine and More and support Bronx Johnny and his company, his corporation. Love it.
I'm just happy to be here. That's what I say every day. I'm just happy to be here, guys.
Robert, anything?
Yeah, April 10th, I'll be in Indiana, Pennsylvania at the Indiana Theater. April 11th, I'll be in Blossburg, Pennsylvania at the Victoria Theater doing Tioga County Center for the Performing Arts. So
I mean, that's an odd name. Indiana, Pennsylvania. I wonder if there's a Pennsylvania, Indiana.
Dude, you want to know what's crazy? So there's an Indiana University of Pennsylvania, but then there's Indiana University of Pennsylvania University in Indiana. So it's IUPUI.
What the
shit.
fuck?
Like a remote campus of Indiana. Yeah.
How unoriginal are Indiana and Pennsylvania? They can't fucking come up with new names. They got to rip each other off.
Fucking Miami of Ohio and shit.
Yeah. Although there's less felons in Miami of Ohio. That's how you tell them apart.
And that will do it. Johnny, always, it's just always the best having you on. You're one of the classics. You're one of the greatest of all time. You're Ali. You're Tyson. You're fucking Jordan, Daddy.
And I wanted to apologize to you too. 'Cause I know it was a bit fucking loud on this episode. Just I don't have friends out here. I have coworkers and shit. So having human contact with people is a bit different for me right now.
No,
you know what I mean?
You were fantastic, Johnny. We loved everything about it. You're
like
you're the legend, baby.
Because then once I'm done with the show, I got to go downstairs and see the wife. I don't talk much to her anymore. What is it? We know each other and shit, you know? It's like, all right.
Johnny, you're the best. We love you.
Love you guys.
Robert, fantastic. To all the Eastside of Dividends out there, keep your eye for what's next. We will upload this show in a few hours, and that'll do it. For
love you, Roy boy.
The legend, Bronx Johnny. For Robert Tamburro, I'm Eastside Dave McDonald. Good night, everybody.